Hey guys, what is going on? So this is my first recorded workout since I got back to the gym after quarantine. My first couple workouts, I was just kind of getting the lay of the land. And this is my first time doing weighted chin-ups. So I haven't done these in a while since before quarantine, and it was harder than I expected. So I did 3 sets of 5. On this set here, you're going to notice that the camera falls, but I did complete all 5 reps here. But it was kind of, 3 sets of grinders, and I don't remember struggling this much with this weight, but obviously I haven't done a weighted pull-up for a weighted chin-up for quite some time. So you see I'm definitely struggling here. I'm probably going to go back down or, just start with 25 and work my way up from there, do some more reps. But yeah, that's how it ended up going. So, all right, here we go with OHP, starting with 135. Going to be working my way up from here. And basically, I'm just trying to get my form, proper. I have noticed that my tricep strength has not really been there since I've been back. It's kind of been my weak point, although my chest is bigger, my triceps are bigger. So it's just about getting that strength back. So I'm really kind of optimistic about being able to get that tricep strength back and hopefully increase the size as well. And then if I continue to work at the bottom of each movement, I should get pretty strong here pretty quickly. But that's not really my focus, but I don't think it'll be an issue. So I'm just doing pretty easy reps here and I'm going to work my way up. All right, here we go with bench press. So I'm doing a little bit wider than normal grip here. I've kind of noticed that my elbows tend to flare a little bit, and I'm honestly stronger with the wider grip. That's something that I learned at some point last year as I started to do wide grip bench press. So I want to transition my grip to be wider than what it traditionally has been. I don't know if I'll go all the way out, putting my pinkies on the rings or anything like that, but definitely wider than it's been. So here I'm just trying to get that power off the chest. I'm not concerned about having my chest actually be my strong point currently. That's actually what I was trying to achieve over quarantine. So the fact that my triceps are weak right now is a very welcome surprise, at least relative to what it's kind of been in the past. So I'm totally okay with that, and I'm just trying to continue to build more power off of my chest. And if you see here, I'm going decline, which is something that I never really did too much in the past. But in terms of actually getting power off the chest, getting chest activation, decline is great, and it's something that I just haven't implemented enough throughout lifting, and so that's just what I'm trying to do here. And obviously getting a bigger range of motion, more chest activation. I'm going wider even here, so I'm just getting a lot of chest power, and again, that's really what I'm going for. In terms of tricep strength, I don't think that's going to be an issue. I think as I continue to lift, I'm going to get that back. And then ultimately, I'm also doing 2 workouts a day. One pretty easy workout in the morning at home, and that's where I have all my bands. So, in terms of doing band workouts, getting my triceps working, I'm not concerned about my tricep strength. So, again, I'm just going to hammer home my chest strength. And if it gets to the point where my triceps just aren't strong for a while, that's what it's going to be. If you look here, just further hammering home that idea of getting that chest activation. So doing an isometric hold. Now, you notice my legs are up here. I notice that I get better activation when I do this. So I do this a lot when I bench press. And in terms of just getting that isometric hold, I almost always do it because it just feels better to me. So that's what I'm doing there. All right, here I am doing pretty light sumo deadlifts. So I noticed that with 45s, the weight is just a little too light for me to ever have any kind of form breakdown. So I really just, I feel like my form is fine when it's light. And then once I get heavy, it's just, I start to pull with my back and not really use my hips as much. So honestly, the way that I've trained deadlifts in the past hasn't really been effective. I've done speed work, I've done heavier stuff, and it just doesn't work. So I hate lifting heavy in terms of deadlifts and even squats. I'm starting to hate doing heavy squats, even though I haven't done squats in quite a long time. So I just don't like going heavy. I don't know what it is. My only goal with leg exercises, I would like to build a big deadlift in terms of just getting a stronger back and overall body. But I know my squat has been strong in the past. If you see here, I'm doing 225. And honestly, I'm just trying to improve my vertical. So if you notice in my one of my previous videos, I did like a dunk video. I started to get heel pain and stuff like that, but I would like to be able to get my vertical kind of back to where it was when I was younger. So here I'm doing kind of this. It's hard to explain. I wouldn't recommend this. It's just something that I'm doing. I'm not going to show this in future videos, but if anybody cares to know, I'm just doing this kind of exercise where I really try and get as much, dorsiflexion there as possible and get maximum hip extension out of the bottom, because I feel like I have, you know, decent sized glutes and I feel like I get great glute activation, but they just don't seem to contribute to like my deadlift as much as I'd want or my jumping. So as I've built my squat and kind of my deadlift, I haven't noticed any transition to my vertical. And so that's just kind of what I'm doing here, is trying to get that explosion. So the rest of the workout here is just going to be a bodybuilding workout. So I'm doing lat pull downs. It's kind of the only exercise where I really feel a good mind muscle connection with the lats. Obviously, I do weighted pull ups, and I feel like I've been able to build my back doing that. But with this, I really feel like I just get that good contraction. So as I'm kind of going through all these, bodybuilding exercises, I'm not really doing them as slowly as I'd want. I'm kind of going a little too fast. But yeah, I'm basically just doing drop sets. So 4 sets in one with the drop set, and I'm just kind of powering through these. And yeah, so I'm basically starting off with lats, using the Katsu bands here, and then I transition into, the chest. Starting off, not with my limbs, because otherwise they would be destroyed. My triceps are already destroyed. So here I noticed this. I was watching a James English video, I believe, and he was just kind of doing something similar to this. And I kind of tried it out, and I really feel a good chest contraction. So for me in general, the pec deck is just superior in terms of getting a contraction. Generally, I just feel like machines work a lot better for me in terms of bodybuilding. And, strength training just doesn't really get the muscle building that I really want. And then with this one, I'm basically doing 2 tricep exercises. So this is getting that weighted stretch. The long head of my triceps are super sore right now. I've been doing 2 workouts a day, hitting them really hard, trying to get those triceps nice and big, even if the strength isn't there. And yeah, these reps are just low range of motion. But basically, I'm getting the weighted stretch at the end, and here I'm just holding it. And I mean, it doesn't look like it's a lot of weight. It's really hard for me at this point, especially with the Katsu bands on. This is, quite a struggle. And I'm also doing drop sets, so I'm just getting absolutely fried here. And then I transition into probably my favorite tricep exercise here, which is going to be this kind of kickback thing here. Now, with the Katsu bands and doing all that work before, it's really hard to use any significant weight with this exercise. So I really can't do effective drop sets because the weight is just not low enough, honestly. This is a really hard exercise, even when I'm fresh, even without the Katsu bands. So I kind of have to speed through this because I can't really get a great contraction, you know, with anything else. So, and then this is just face pulls. I'm doing drop sets. I always feel awkward doing face pulls on this machine. I like to do them at home with the bands, which I do after my morning workout, but I try and do it at the end of every exercise, and at the end of every workout. And I actually did one exercise after this just because I kind of forgot to do biceps. And this is really the only exercise that works for me in terms of biceps. You can kind of see in the mirror, the angle is really weird here. But yeah, I'm basically just kind of getting that wrist extension there. And it makes me feel it kind of in the peak of my bicep. So doing drop sets here. And yeah, biceps, not really something I care too much about, but that's how I like to finish on something that I don't really care about. And yeah, that was the workout. Bodybuilding, strength, isometric, a little bit of everything. This workout was really long, but that's what it was.